Welcome back. This is chapter 4, The Treasure Within, and today I'm going to explain passage number 7 to you. So here we go. Did you think that what they taught in school was boring, or did you feel that once you understood the concept of what was being taught, you lost interest in the rest of the lesson? So another question asked by Bella Raja, the editor. So she said, was it that the thing taught to you in the class was boring? The manner or the way you were taught in the class that was boring? Was it the case that you were not interested in the studies, or that once you understood the concept, the subject matter, the theme, you lost interest in the rest of the lesson? So, which one of them was the case with you? Essay. Living in a boarding school is difficult. We were just living from day to day. Now, what he remarks here, that living in boarding school, that is, he was a boarder, he lived in a boarding school, that is, he stayed there and studied there at the same time. So he remarks here that living in boarding school is very difficult. And we were just living from day to day, and they were living there day to day. That is a long, the entire schooling was spent in boarding school for them. Nowadays, there are so many tests. Back then, whenever we had tests, we used to just copy. The teacher thought that we had done our work. So he now remarks, he comes to the question and says that nowadays there are a lot of tests to check the ability of the student, to know whether the student has learned or not. But back then, if we go back to those days, there used to be a few tests only, and during those tests, if you did well, or the teacher would think that you had learned, that you learned your task, and so you have done so well. Okay, so there is a contention that giftedness and learning disabilities go hand in hand. Do you think this applies to you? The editor asks here another question. That is, there is a contention, there is a claim. People claim that learning disabilities comes with giftedness. If you have learning disabilities, then you have certain giftedness, something blessed, and some blessing is there. That is, some skill remains in such people by which they can handle their disabilities. They can cover up, they can compensate their disabilities. So her question is, do you think this applies to you? If this philosophy is applicable to you. Essay. Well, take some students from my class. Those who always stood first or second are today doing very ordinary jobs. He gives a very straightforward and very straight-cut answer. He says here that, take the example of the students in my class fellows. Those who always stood first and second in the class, they are doing very ordinary jobs today. They're not doing a great job, or say they're not doing any job of a higher rank. SC. Okay, so then ordinary job. So they're doing very ordinary job. Okay. Now BR. I have come across this situation in so many different places where people tell me that their class toppers are doing very ordinary today. So this is commented by BR. That is BR supporting Bella Raja supporting his statement. SC Hafiz. In school, I think living our lives there made us street smart. Now he makes a point here. Living our lives there in school made them street smart, made them very smart because they were there around the clock. All the 24 hours they were there together. So that made them street smart and made them very tough and very smart in handling things, handling situations, because there were no one to handle your situation, handle a particular situation. You only had to handle it. So that made them very smart. I have learned more by doing what I did on my own. And what he says that he learned most of the things by doing what he did on his own. What he did on his own, from them only he learned majority of his lessons. Then what academics would have taught me. So his most of his learnings came from his own lives, from his own doings, and not from the academics, not from books. BR. That is because the personality and skills were there. Now she supports him and by saying that, well, that was only because two things. There were two things, mixture of two things. Personality was there in you, skill was there in you. That is, you were having the attitude. Here, personality means attitude, and skill here means the ability to do a thing. So you had the ability to do things and you had the attitude, and both of them together you were able to find expression in a manner you were comfortable with, and together these two helped you find the expression of your talent in an area where you were comfortable. You defied every rule so that nobody would stop you from doing what you needed to do, and you defied every rule. There are rules, yes, that if you have 85% only, then you can get the admission in the architecture course. You can become an architect. But you defied all the rules. You had the talent, you had the potential, and though you had got certain drawbacks, certain shortcomings, weakness, that is all those shortcomings were defied. That is 80% marks was all defied. Those rules were defied. Defied means challenged, say, by you, and you did what you needed to do. That is, you were supposed to do. I was more interested in other things. If, for example, while in class it started raining outside, I would think of the flowing water and how to build a dam to block it. So what he says, yes, he also just agrees with her point, says I was more interested in other things. He was more interested in other things that is besides studies. For example, if there was rain outside, it was raining outside, so he would think about the flowing water and how to build a dam and block the water. I would be thinking about the flow of water within the dam and how much of water the dam would be able to hold. And he would be thinking of the flow of water within the dam and how much of water the dam would be able to hold. That was my interest for the day, and that was his interest for the entire day, and he would be thinking in that direction on it. So, this is all for now. Thank you.